So collaboration. What is collaboration? Why should we care? What's interesting about it? What's the point? I want to share with you 5 things that I think are things you should be doing or understand in terms of collaboration. And this is particularly for block management companies, but this is relevant to all businesses. But I really want to call out the block management companies in my industry that don't work together and maybe don't collaborate. Collaboration sometimes feels like a word that big corporates use or big companies use. Sometimes it's used in certain partnerships. And sometimes it has cross meaning, so there's different purposes in terms of how it's used. But I want to talk about collaboration at a very basic level in terms of how, if you're a block management company or a business, but specifically block management, in terms of how we could work together and actually achieve more and have better businesses as a result, which is what we're all trying to do. So and there's no particular order to these 5 things, but this is just my order. There's many things collaboration can do, but I just break it down into 5 simple things that I think are relevant and that hopefully you might understand. The first thing is inspire you. I always speak to business owners all the time, whether they're in block management or out, and I only have got to spend half an hour last week, not going to mention names, but I spoke with some for half an hour actually, and we had a conversation, never met before, but we work in the same space, run our own respective businesses, and I shared some things with him that he felt he'd learned and he could take on into his business, and he shared things with me that I learned that I could take on into my business, and that was over 1 hour. And the value we got just from that 1 hour was something we could tangibly take in a bite size and implement in our business that would be of benefit and value. And that was 1 hour talking. So the first thing is, we leave these conversations, when we talk, we get inspired. We share ideas, but ultimately we leave feeling with that feeling of, that gives me a lift. It helps me understand that someone else is on the same page. They're going through the same maybe struggle or challenge. But ultimately I leave with a bit of inspiration because it gives me ideas on what I can do. So at a very base level, 1, it can inspire you. So that's a great thing for any business owner. The second thing is, like I said, it's about problem solving. One problem shared, and we all know it, one problem shared with someone else who's been through it, who has spent hours and hours, tons of hours on something. They could just say to you, hey, this is what I've learned. And you don't realize that whatever you're trying to do, someone else has already probably tried to do it. And they've probably exhausted all sorts of man hours into it and learned lots of things. So this is about helping each other solve problems in the business that they've already experienced. Now, some people are experiencing problems for the first time. They're troubleshooting in their teams or on their own. They don't know how to fix them. And there's other people that have been there, done it, worn the t-shirt, and they can just give you a very quick way of dealing with something that could just get you past that problem. And that's why talking again, collaborating, sharing that problem, it solves problems. That's what we're trying to do. We're constantly solving problems. So number 2, it helps solve problems. 3, it can completely save you money. Time spent on issues that you can't resolve, or time spent on something where it could cut down the time you spend on anything and just make you more efficient. Just by, again, talking to someone, helping them understand their processes or their procedure, it could just mean that you save money, not just in man time, not just indirectly, but also it could be directly. It could be a way you're handling something. It could be how you handle calls. It could be how you handle posts. It could be how you handle sending out letters. It could be any types of the million things that we do in our businesses. But again, it could save you money by implementing someone else's system or idea, literally on the bottom line. So I think talking alone, collaborating again. 3, save you money. The other thing is educational. We talk about books, we talk about training courses, IRPM, anything you want to do to help you grow your knowledge is great education. But one of the freest, the cheapest way to get educated in anything is to talk to peers, talk to other people. And that is why from an education point of view, block management and talking, if you're a business owner or you're the manager director or you're the senior guy at that company, talk to other block management companies in similar positions, the owners, the CEOs, the managing directors, the senior partners, the directors. The knowledge in that bank of people is so immense. They've been through so many things, there's so much experience to be shared that it's free. It's that education that you can get from someone else is pretty much free. You don't have to charge for it, just by collaborating at that very sense and sharing in itself is education. And you have to see that as an important part of your journey. So number 4, educational is massive when you collaborate. There's loads of value there. The 5th thing and the final thing is growing your network. You can meet all sorts of interesting people. You might even be able to share resources. You might even be able to find innovative ways to actually work together. But by having a bigger network, having a good network and a bigger network is always helpful in your business. Even like I said, if it's just on a basis of sharing ideas. So having that network of people, not just sitting on your own going, I'm my own company, my competitors are my competitors, I'm not going to talk to them, I'm going to sit here and do it my way, regardless of what everyone else has learned and known. Now, not everyone in the industry wants to do this, not everyone in the industry understands collaboration, but if you don't understand collaboration and how it can benefit you or your business, you should try and reach out to someone who might want to collaborate with you. And it all starts with one conversation. One conversation. You don't need anything else. You don't need any money. You don't need any much time. You just need to reach out to someone else who's in your space and say, hey, do you want to meet up and chat? I know you do this. Let's have a chat and see what happens. There doesn't have to be some big master plan. Stop thinking that collaboration means some strategic measure that requires sign off from all sorts of people to do. You need permissions, or you need to think of agreements between companies, non-disclosures or partnership agreements. You don't need all these things to have a conversation, have a coffee, and just go from there, see what happens. Big shout out to, and I'm probably not going to mention everyone, but big shout out to Young Leaseholders Professionals, Nick Rich from Warwick Estates, because the idea of getting people together and actually just talking, I do not care what the reason is. But the fact that if you can get some people in the room that are from the same space and talk to each other, there's tremendous value in it. Now, what we need to do is take the idea, the energy from the young leaseholders professionals or the youth in the industry and go, right, if you're the business owner, you're the manager director, you're the director, who tend to be some of the older people in the industry, they're not necessarily down in their early 20s or mid 20s, think of the same idea behind that. It's the same principle, but the things that the owners or the senior people could do and implement in their business could have massive impact on your business for the better. There is only good that can come out of collaboration. So if you're someone who works in block management, or you're even a property manager, listen to this, and you work for a business that's dynamic, wants to grow, wants to learn more, wants to work with people that are going to help you do that, reach out. It starts with one person reaching out to another, and it goes from there. Every little thing starts with one person having an idea, and they implementing that idea and putting it into the world. So my reach out to you guys is, if you want to hit me up, contact me. I'd love to have a chat with you if you work for another block management company, preferably someone senior, director, managing director, but even if you're a property manager, I don't care. Reach out, let's have a chat, and it all starts with one conversation. Thanks for listening, guys. Hopefully you found it useful, and I look forward to responding to anyone who comes at me.